What's up, ladies and gentlemen? If you're watching this, then you already know this is the Sparring Sessions podcast. I am Will. I am here with my boy Tristan, known as the UFC Genie. We're here to talk about this little card we got this weekend, UFC Qatar, uh, Qatar Dohar or something like that. Dohar Qatar, some one of those things. But we got 14 fights. We got some people making their debuts. We got the uh, one fight that I'm weirdly excited for is that heavyweight fight. Uh, it's the heavyweight sweepstakes. They're just bringing in a bunch of random regional heavyweights, man. The Denzel Freeman versus Merrick Bujlo guy, whatever. But yeah, we got some guys returning. We got Dan Hooker versus yeah, Saryukian. Sorry. But yeah, it's overall a good card. What do you think about this card?
I think it's a pretty good card. I'm excited for it. It's earlier in the day, which is always interesting, watching fights at 10, 11 a.m. in the morning. It's always fun. I'll actually be sparring on Saturday before I tune into this card, so I'll be missing the first couple fights, but we'll be tuning in hopefully to some cashed bets because I do have some plays early on in this card. But I think it's a pretty good card. On paper, I think 7.5 out of 10 is what I rated it on the show. And I think it's at least a 7.5 out of 10. Like, it's pretty good. Name value, like, early on the card is pretty good. There's the debuting Shamrock. There's Toporia's brother. There's Kyoji Horiguchi's re-debut. There's a lot of stuff to look out for on this card. So,
Yeah, man,
what do
I'm
you think? What was your rating?
I'll give it a 7. I think it's consistent. I think this week and last week, there's consistency throughout the card, which I like. It's not like 7 or 8 straight fights of, nothing burgers and then, three or four top guys. It's not top heavy. In my opinion, I think that there's going to be good fights, start to finish. But we're here to talk about best bets. Um, we like to gamble over here, so we put a lot of time into this, so we are gonna give you our thoughts and feelings. I'm gonna give you my first two here. I'm gonna go with Denzel Freeman versus Merrick Bulio under 1.5 rounds for -150. I think that's a pretty good price. That Merrick, that Polish guy's never been out of the first round. And Freeman is, I believe, a slight favorite, like -160, -170, something like that. But I think we've seen a ton more out of Freeman. I think this Merrick guy from Poland, he's fought absolute cans, guys that kind of just crumple up and say, "Okay, I lose now," and then there he goes. So yeah, I think you can get a fat heavyweight under 1.5 for a pretty reasonable price. I'm always a fan of taking unders in heavyweight fights. I think a lot of people are, so definitely not a bad um, we see that he can easily be winning a fight and then just be too caught up into his own work and just do stupid mistakes, just fouling and being dirty. I'm not a fan of that. We've seen him break. He kind of had a shitty performance against Bruno Silva. Like that's freaking horrible. And then 2 fights ago, 3 fights ago, he's getting finished back to back in Brave FC, like or Brave Seattle. Like that's bum stuff. Like I don't think he's UFC caliber. I don't think he's gonna last long in the second stint in UFC. So I'm gonna go with Loader. Loader, he's a wrestling guy, pretty heavy wrestling guy. Man, his one loss isn't aging well in the UFC, but I don't think it's the worst loss he could have. Yeah, give me Ryan Loader money line here. I feel pretty confident in that. What are some of your best bets to start the card out?
So I do like that Ryan Loader one. I'll say I am with you on that. That is also one of my best bets. Just his money line. I think Nardiev, he's unpolished, and Ryan Loader kind of needs a win after his last time out there where he
Yeah.
got put out. Um, the dude still has hype. He still has a good game. He still has good wrestling. He on the feet. I don't think Nardiev is some crazy killer just because he was outstriking Jung Young Park, but like he also made some pretty horrible mistakes in that fight and pretty much threw it. But I think Ryan Loder is going to be a bit tougher out there than Jung Young Park at this stage, and I think he's going to end up winning this fight. It'll be a pretty dominant performance. I'm even going to say. So Ryan Loder money line is my first best bet at plus
Oh
110,
yeah.
and my second best bet will be in the Nurulo Aliev fight. Unfortunately, I'm going to go with the over 2.5 rounds. 80% of Nurulo Aliev's fights go over this number. 80% of his fights go to decision. And Shamrock, he usually is a finisher, but his last time out he fought once this year and it went to a split decision. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. And I think Aliev's a bit tougher than a lot of the guys that he's been facing. So I just think this fight's going to go long. It's going to be kind of a stinker. And over 2.5, minus 188. It's not a great number, but that's definitely where I'm leaning towards in that fight. So that's one of my best bets there. And I'll give you a third one here. It's kind of a fun prelim parlay piece, I'm gonna call it the Russian parlay piece or whatever. We're going Saigid money line. We're pairing that with Tajir money line. We're pairing that with Asu Almabayev money line. I don't even think he's Russian. I think he's Uzbekistan, right?
Who
Something
cares?
like that. But then I'm capping that off with Shamil Gaziev money line. So rerun Saigid, Tajir, Asu, Almabayev, and Gaziev plus 398 parlay piece, 4-leg parlay. I could have added Narulo Aliev on there, but I'm not putting him in the parlay. It didn't do enough for the numbers. So yeah, plus 398 parlay there.
Sounds like the shout out Eastern Europe parlay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hate that, man. I think next, I couldn't find the line for this because we're recording this on Tuesday. Most of the lines will drop in 24 hours, so Wednesday night. My next one was going to be Rafael Cerqueira versus Abdul Rahman Yakyaev to end in round one. I think that's a really, really good bet. I don't have a line for that yet, but I imagine it's going to be the under's like minus 300, so I imagine the fight to end in round one might be around minus 150, minus 160-ish area. I'll take that all day. I also think the under 1.5 is a great parlay piece. Because I just there's no part of me that looks at this card and looks at Rafael Cerqueira against anybody with a pulse and says, "Yeah, I think this is gonna go long." Um, he's shown that he can get knocked out like in in almost what is it like Paul Craig fashion, like hilarious fashion, like he's getting knocked out pretty freaking bad. He's fighting a guy that has 3 wins by knockout, 3 wins by submission, 1 win by decision. Five of those six finishes come in the first round. And I think that's what's going to happen. He has one, two, three, three fights ending in under a half a round. So that's pretty impressive with me out of 7 fights. That's like Terrence McKinney type of stuff. So yeah, I like the under there and that fight to end in round one. Next, I'm gonna go with Spivak versus Gaziev under 1.5 rounds. I think Gaziev's kind of gonna bum rush Spivak. I don't think Spivak's gonna be able to impose his will on Gaziev, and I think Gaziev is probably just gonna. I wouldn't be surprised if he's just standing TKO up against the fence and he's just kind of curled up against the fence. Almost like what Gon did to Spivak. I could really see that happening in that fight there. So, yeah, man, I think Gaziev's legit. He's got the real stopping power in that fight. So yeah, give me that under 1.5 rounds at plus 115. My final best bet, my fifth and final best bet will be Volkan Oezdemir by TKO. You all right over there? No, I'm taking Vulcan by TKO. I think Menifield's kind of cooked, man. Like I think he gets hurt in almost every fight he's in. Uh, so I think Vulcan has still got bombs in his hands. You know, he throws bricks. So Yeah, I think that's pretty cut and dry. How many times have we seen Menifield get hurt in his fights? Like, it's almost every fight at this point. And if Volkan Oezdemir hurts you, he can put you out. And so I predict a sleep for him. What do you got next for your best bets?
So next up, I'm gonna save the main event. Actually, no, screw it. Let's just go right to it. I think in the main event, I'm putting the under 3.5 rounds as a best bet. I think it goes. I think this is ending in the first or second round. To be honest, I can't see Sarukian going all 5 rounds, especially when he's campaigning for a title shot, right? So he's got to go out there and get Dan Hooker out early. And if anyone is due to be put out early, it is Dan Hooker in this position, man. This dude has been knocked out twice in the first round, and Edson Barboza got him out in the third round. But I just see it going really early. So Rukian was able to get Beneil out of there early when he needed to, and I feel like he's being a bit underrated on the like his striking's pretty good still. Like he went toe to toe with Oliveira on the feet, and I could see him landing a bomb on Sarukian or that fucking flashy axe kick that he throws. Any of
Yeah.
this shit, I could see it putting Dan Hooker out of there, making him look like a chump and getting that title shot because that's what Sarukian needs to do. He needs something really flashy. He needs like a finish over Hooker, I think, if he wants to really cement himself as the title contender, the next up in the division, you know. So I'm saying under 3.5 rounds is my official best bet for this fight. I just can't see it going all five, and I like the number. I like minus one minus 130 for the under 3.5. I like that number, and it's a lot of time to work in the cage there. It's a lot of time, so I'm
You
gonna
know, it's
take that all
funny.
day.
Before we got on here, I was actually looking at an alt under for that fight, like under 2.5, under 1.5. I think that's pretty good stuff right there. So I'm in agreement with you there.
And next up, I'm going down the card to this Beksat Almacan fight against Alexandre Topuria. I blanked there for a second. I was originally gonna go with inside the distance or fight goes the distance. Sorry, at plus 160. I was originally gonna give you that as the best bet, but I'm kind of thinking if I was gonna give you that, I might as well just have given you Topuria by points. So if I'm thinking that, I'm just gonna say win inside the distance. If it goes the distance, no action. So if I'm saying Almacan inside the distance, or if it goes the decision, no action. At minus 120. I think Almacan has stopping power in his hands, and I'm not entirely sold on Taporia yet. And there's all this. It looks like the line's almost leaning towards an Almacan TKO. So there's obviously a lot of people betting on it, and a lot of people think that's going to happen. If it ends up happening, that means we hit. If it goes to decision, Taporia gets another win by decision, then it's going to be we get our money back. So I kind of like that play a bit more than going fight goes the distance.
Yeah.
Because if it's going the distance, Taporia is most likely winning. I might as well just give you Taporia by points at plus 300. But inside the distance, Almacan inside the distance, if it goes to decision, no action. Minus 120. That is my official best bet for this fight. I think that hits. I think that's a good bet. So that is my last best bet that I have for you. I have some value plays as well that might be I might have just spoiled one, but I also have Mick Beck. Are we jumping right into the value plays here?
Yeah, do your
Yeah?
thing, man. Yeah, yes, sir.
Fuck yeah. All right. Mick Beck oral by versus Jack Hermanson. You might have heard on the show. I'm predicting Jack Hermanson's early exit in this fight, man. I think Mick Beck is going to put him out of there. He's been on the cusp of finishes in his past couple fights, Mick Beck, and I think this is kind of a setup. Like when I'm thinking about this, Mick Beck's moving up. He's gonna have the speed advantage, and he still has a lot of power in his hands and is a very polished striker. And Jack Hermansson's moving down, so he's gonna be cutting more weight, more susceptible to a knockout. after just getting knocked out again. Mick Tickbeck's knocking this dude out. I'm saying Mick Tickbeck by TKO at plus 250 is an official value play, and as well as Alexandre Topuria by decision at plus 300. That's another one of my value plays. What do you got? You got any value
Uh,
plays?
I do want to say it because I wasn't on the predictions episode. Yeah, that Jack Hermanson move has got to be one of the more bizarre moves I've seen in the UFC. Because he's not a small 185er by any means. Um, it's completely bizarre to me. I don't know. But my first value play, I only have two. I'm going with two dogs. I got Shamrock money line at plus 235. I'm a big Shamrock guy. I was talking to our buddy Tuko Tokos this morning about that fight. I think Aliev is kind of a nothing burger, man. Like I don't see him doing anything besides laying in people's half guard for super long amounts of time. Um, yeah, he beat Rafael Alves by majority decision and Joe Solecki by unanimous decision. And uh, I remember him getting dropped or something like that in that Joe Solecki fight, toward the end. I think I could be completely wrong, but he wasn't having just Selecki's good, but I think Shamrock Spar's much better than Joe Solecki. I think Joe Solecki might have been a little bit of a one-trick pony in his career, but I think Shamrock's a little bit more dynamic on the ground in terms of like sweeps or certain transitions that Selecki might have not been too yeah, well versed in, I should say. But we got another scouser in the UFC, and I do think he can do good things. And this is relatively short notice for them, right? Maybe like a month or something like that. Yeah, I think he can do well in this fight. I think Aliev, Shem Shem doesn't have to worry much about uh his finishing ability, Alia's finishing ability. So I think that's going to be able to give Shamrock some leeway to be a little bit more creative, especially or taking liberties on the ground because this fight's going to be 90% on the ground. So yeah, give me Shamrock here. And I'm gonna finish this off with the one and the only Kyoji Horiguchi money line plus 175. I have no faith in the runt of the litter, Tagir Ulanbekov. He's slow as molasses. Uh, Kyoji's a little bit older, but he's gonna have a in this fight. I think he has only got what five losses in his career. He hasn't lost in quite some time, some like three-ish years or so. I think he's got some really quality wins against people that I think Tagir would struggle with. Or Tiger has close fights here and there, but I just don't think he's anything near the level that Kyoji was or still is. I think like he just beat Sergio Pettis last summer. I'm sorry, Sergio Pettis is better than Tiger Ulanbekov. Like that's in my opinion, that's like clear as day. His last loss was against Patchy Mix in 2022. That doesn't, really age well. Maybe Patchy Mix was on the special sauce out there in Bellator, but who knows? And then he lost to Sergio Pettis as well. I remember we were talking about this, and you go, he got knocked out by Kaya Sakura. He also knocked out Kaya Sakura.
Yeah, yeah, that's
He,
true. That's true.
People forget, man. And he also beat Darian Caldwell, talented guy on the Bellator scene. I think that guy, he puts up good fights, But I think I really do think Kyoji Horiguchi can come back to the UFC and give a guy like Tagir Ulanbekov some issues. That'll be it for me. What are you gonna finish us off with? Pause.
Would I be crazy giving you Bilal Muhammad by points at plus 300?
No?
I don't know. I don't know.
There's a
I
tried
am
and
leaning
true. There's
towards
a
Ian
tried and
Gary.
true. Tried and true for
I am.
Bilal.
People forget, man. This guy beat Sean Brady. Former near title challenger.
Too soon, man. Give it a break, man. Give me a break.
Sorry. Sorry. But yeah, I think Bilal Muhammad could make this tough for Ian Gary, who's definitely had some close fights in the past. I mean, I don't know. He lost to Jeff Neal though. Oh man, I don't know. This is a tough one, but the number's too good to pass up. Plus 300. I definitely am leaning towards Ian Gary. Um, but yeah, plus 300 for Bilal Muhammad by points. It's definitely going to a decision anyways, so you get a 50-50 if the judges end up giving it to Bilal in Qatar, So plus 300 is a good number. Can't pass that up. And Ian Gary, who he lost to Shavkat just 2 fights ago. Carlos Prates, he was crawling away on his hands and knees from. So I could see Bilal making it interesting against him. Plus 300. That's the official value play right there. And that's all.
Um,
That's all the bets I got.
yeah, man, I don't hate that at all, man. I think we've seen a lot of home cooking out there in the Middle East for their fighters. So I think that's a very, very, very realistic play that could happen. So yeah. Um, usually I think I would have had a little bit more, but I didn't want to go overboard for this episode. Something we can get in, get it out, but I'm glad we did. So yeah, I think is that all from you?
That's all I got. Yeah,
Well,
that's
man,
all
I
the bets
think
I got.
hope everyone enjoys the fights this weekend, and next week hopefully we could talk about all the wins we had.
Yes, yes, sir.
See you guys later.